No tax on tips and overtime. It's one of the main selling points of President Donald Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill congressional leaders are now negotiating. I'm Chandler Morgan in for Tanika Hughes.
And I'm Ben Becker. But would workers actually see a difference in their paychecks? Action News Jax state and local government reporter Jake Stofan dug into the details and reports workers should not expect to see a change in their take-home pay.
Well, that's right. Instead, the savings would come on the back end when you file your taxes. And how much would you save? Well, that all depends on how much you earn in tips and overtime and whether the Senate or House plan prevails. The president and congressional leaders are promising big savings for tipped workers and hourly employees who clock over 40 hours a week. President Donald Trump promised to eliminate taxes on tips and overtime during the 2024 election.
It is going to be the largest tax cut for working and middle-class families in American history.
Northeast Florida Congressman Aaron Bean explains all workers making under $160,000 a year would be eligible for tax-free tips and overtime pay under the House plan.
And for somebody making tips, it's going to be drastic. It's going to be very drastic. For those that aren't in overtime very often or very little tips, it's still going to be big.
Unlike the House plan, the proposal in the U.S. Senate caps the level of earnings in tips and overtime exempt from taxes at $25,000 in most cases. Under both plans, however, workers shouldn't expect to see a difference on their paychecks. Instead, total tipped and overtime pay would be deducted from workers' annual taxes, either reducing what they owe, making them eligible for a tax return, or even dropping them into a lower tax bracket in some cases.
It's all about rewarding enterprise in America, rewarding people who work longer, harder. Those are basically fundamental tenets of American exceptionalism.
Florida Tax Watch President and CEO Dominic Calabro argues the plan would especially be a boon for Florida.
Because we have a very high percentage of our workforce is in one of the major components, economic sector, and that's hospitality.
Congressman Bean says the goal is to get the bill on the president's desk by July 4th. At the end of the day, though, he says the bill just needs to clear the finish line by the end of the year to avoid potential tax hikes, with the previous Trump tax cuts set to expire on December 31st. For local coverage you can count on in the studio, I'm Jake Stofan, Action News Jax.